Clips. Alrighty YouTube, another one of Kip's Clips. So I'm trying to see if I can do my clips this way and see if it might resolve some audio issues and make the audio a wee bit more palatable for everybody. So fingers crossed it works. So I spending a wee bit of time trying to get my head round all the alternative media after the Donald Trump has trumped us all and became leader of the free world. Now, I was talking about this, I don't know if I mentioned it on some of my videos or whatnot the other day, but what I'm wanting, call me crazy, what I'm going to be using this Donald Trump victory for, because it's out with our control, I believe, what I'm going to be using this Donald Trump victory for is to bury the likes of, let's say, Alex Jones, and I'm even sad to say it, Mike Rivero as well. I really am genuinely actually sad to say it, because it's horrible, but it's a reality that I'm going to face up to and do my best to try and explain to others, where these people have shown their colours, what they were here for. They are part of the New World Order. They're not here to stop it. These were the ones that ingrained the meme, the fear of the New World Order into everybody, to manipulate everybody to a position where they've polarised the whole of America. The destruction of America is happening. Polarise the whole of the UK, destroy the whole the old guard of the United Kingdom political structure. Job's a good one. And then get everybody into this revolutionary mindset to usher in the new. And unfortunately, this media has successfully done this over the time to all of us. Every single last one of us. So I'm going to be using the Alex Jones, I'm going to be using the Donald Trump victory and the fallout from it to now point out the confirmation bias of the likes of Alex Jones and Mike Rivero. And moving forward, this is going to be so easy. It's going to be so easy. Why? They've got their wish. They've no longer got government to scare you with. Their man is going to be in the White House. How long before they have to find some more shit to keep their own bandwagon going? How long before people get sick of Alex Jones just telling you how great Donald Trump is? How long before people get sick of Mike Rivero making excuses for Donald Trump? All written out now. Listen to the rhetoric that comes out of these guys' mouths. Both sides are as stupid and as retarded as each other. Mike Rivero talking about armed revolution and we shouldn't accept this result because we know the voter fraud. They're stealing the election. Voter fraud. They're stealing the election. If Trump doesn't win, it's not real. If Trump does win, it's real because obviously what we done is we overcame the election fraud. The confirmation bias to these people is bizarre. Mike Rivero has never even talked about Donald Trump rocking up and going like he's going to recognise Jerusalem as Israel's capital. I mean, that's why I gravitated towards Mike Rivero back in the day. Because he was one of the few voices out there that would actually talk about the crimes and the genocide and the apartheid that's going on in Palestine, stroke Israel, whatever you want to call that area of land. For the past God knows how many months, all he's done is made apologies for Trump, who's a Zio bastard. Got everybody galvanised into either going for armed revolution, don't accept Hillary as your leader, but hey, don't worry, we will accept Donald Trump. I mean, this guy is making no sense. Honestly, I don't know, I'm not calling him a shell or a paid anything like that. I just think he lives in cognitive dissonance. I think he himself is confused. He let his hatred for Clinton override him. He couldn't be objective about Clinton or Trump. he couldn't even be that. His hatred for Clinton and wanting her to see her fail overrid his common sense to see there is no winners if you choose Clinton or Trump. The American people should be hitting a reset button, taking their country back, pointing to the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, going through it with a fine tooth comb, understanding how it was wrote. The Constitution of America puts limits on the government. It doesn't tell you what your rights are. It tells you what the government can't infringe on. The government shall make no laws. I'm butchering this, I'm paraphrasing. The government shall make no laws infringing on people's right to freedom of speech, to infringe on people's rights to bear arms. It's not telling you have the right to do it. It's telling you the government should never, cannot make laws to infringe on these God-given fucking obvious rights that we have as humans, not persons. Anyway, so I'm going to be using this to try and hit home my point of view that the alternative media isn't as alternative as we all first thought it was. It's been the fast sway of it. The fast sway of it has been. I'm trying to look for words that explain it properly and not just go into my Alex Jones rhetoric thesaurus. It's a false flag, psyop! How long did it take Alex Jones to flip-flop on Assange? Good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good. He said so. I've been trolled by Julian Assange. Right? How long is it going to take him to fucking switch on Trump? And then, I thought Trump was good all along. I got it wrong. And he didn't get it wrong. He manufactured him. We Are Change, AMTV, Mark Dice. Look at all these, the big guns, all part of the Truther industrial complex. Look where they have been priming and getting everybody, everything's led up to getting Trump elected. And Trump is the new world order. The guy's a business, they've got a business guy in charge of the biggest business who wants to do business with everybody. I thought we were about people before profit. Not just completely disregard people whatsoever and just put a businessman in charge because it's the fucking American way. He's going to make America great again. He's going to save the American dream. George Carlin was right about the American dream. You have to fucking be asleep to believe it existed in the very fucking first place. The lie! You've been scammed too. Anyway, America has no sovereignty. It's the United States started to get destroyed from its moment of its inception, and slowly over time, you've got people forgetting it's a republic, it's not a democracy, you've got people forgetting about what the actual constitution means. It puts restrictions on the federal government of people's inherent rights. It doesn't tell you what you do have the right for, it tells you what the government doesn't have the right to do. It's a list of do not do's for the government, not vice versa. Everything's been inverted, turned on its head, and not very many people are understanding this bullcrap. So, hopefully I've explained that a wee bit better. This goes for all of them. I mean, every single one of them. I'm failing to see somebody that's in the alternative media. They hate to use it's independent media. We're not the alternative media. Shut the fuck up, Richie Allen. You're about as independent as David Icke's kids. And that isn't very independent, that's very dependent. Richie Allen dependent on fucking David Icke. David Icke dependent on Alex Jones. Alex Jones dependent on Breitbart. Breitbart dependent on Donald Trump. Can't you see the big cock train? Mark Dice dependent on Alex Jones. AMTV, just all these different versions of the alternative media. Right, and it's not that they actually create people that believe in their own bullshit and then go out and propagate that bullshit. That's what propaganda is, propagating a message. That's what the alternative media has managed to do. Propagating that message of the alternative media has left us in a position where we've had Brexit and people really need to go and fucking listen to me before they know where I stand and assume anything about the things I'm saying here. We've had Brexit. That isn't getting used to take us out the European Union. It's getting used to break the back of the people who still had resolve to want Britain out of the European Union. So we're getting Brexit. The people who wanted it are getting punished and getting used to either cement civil war or to browbeat enough people so that we go into the European Union. Exact same thing's getting to happen for America. This fat fuck is moaning about, we need America back, we need America back, and all he's doing is turning America into the, demonising America in the world, in the eyes of the world, to take away America's position and power and influence within the world. You take away that, who's going to point to America and go, well look, they've got freedom of speech, they've got the right to bear arms. They're going to point and go, look at the state of that country. That's what the right of freedom of speech brings you to. That's what the right of bearing arms brings you to. Fat fucks like that want you to go and shoot your fellow citizen because he hasn't bought enough fucking tangy tangerine. Fucking Fat Man Jones. Anyway, so, I don't know if I've spewed on enough here. Use this to open people's eyes to the scam of the alternative media. If it isn't UK Column talking about, we need to restore the rule of law, we need to restore the rule of law, we need to return to the 1950s. That's what these motherfuckers are talking about. They're talking about regressing the revolution to bring you back to where you fucking were in the fucking start. Sound eerily familiar? A progression, an evolution away from all this shit. Nobody's talking about the creation of money. Nobody's talking about legalese. Nobody's talking about the fraudulent fucking courts, judges, the lawyers, liars, the whole shebang which has enslaved us, helped enslave us for all this time, as if they've got some authority. Nobody. Fat Man Jones, fucking Trump, take your ball back, take your consent back, take your authority back, take your sovereignty back to the individual, if not the family. Job's a good one. Right, I've rattled on enough. Hopefully the audio came through okay on this. Not 100% sure, but I will play it back and see. So thumbs it up, share it on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, all the good stuff. There is a link below for the Patreon and PayPal accounts if you do want to support genuine. I'm not going to call myself alternative media because that's been branded with this fat cunt. Richie Allen, independent media. Richie Allen, you're David Icke's dangleberry. How independent is that? Richie Allen's so independent that he can't stand up and say a bad word about David Icke. He can't also say a bad word about all the other shells in the alternative media, like Dana Dumford, because he has them on his show. Otherwise, he doesn't have a show because he can't. He's got nothing to share. He's nothing. He's just a lisping Irish prick. That's all he is. He's like a fucking Irish Kev Baker. Absolutely nothing to fucking, no message of their own, nothing to think about on their own, so they interview all the fucking shell network, punting their books, punting their wares, and then hide behind the vizier of independence and real journalism so they can get all these shells who they probably don't even believe themselves on their show to keep their little merry-go-round. That isn't enlightening anybody, that isn't being honest, that isn't being independent, that isn't being a real journalist, it's being a fucking shell. Serving yourself ain't there for fucking enlightening anybody. And that fat prick, I know that wee wanker Kev Baker knows what he's doing. I know what I can't think David Icke knows exactly what he's doing. Richie Allen knows what he's doing. Ken O'Keefe, Max Egan, these people all knew what they were doing. Nobody would call them out on their wee money making schemes. Their Ponzi schemes when they're talking about Ponzi schemes. Anyway, I digress. Fuck. Leave all your comments below, good, bad, ugly and indifferent. I will read and respond to as many as I can. Alrighty YouTube, thanks for listening. Catches.
F.E.A.R, come on. It keeps the cheese and the maize and the rats and the race and the spaces.